Welcome again, gamers, to episode 2 of the Smite Dojo. Today we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is the Guardian's mentality. What does that mean exactly? So the reason that I've kind of been doing this is because I play a lot of Smite. I'm a Guardian main at heart, but I like to run different roles, I love to play mage, hunter, all these other things. And when I do, I see a lot of players approach the role in a way that it's just not optimal. I'm not saying they're bad players. I'm just saying that I see a lot of Smite players that don't seem to understand exactly what they're trying to do as the Guardians. I'm really hoping that this video will kind of help out a lot of newer Guardians that are trying to get into the role. I'm hoping that maybe it defines a little purpose, and just if it gives you one tiny iota of something that you can do a little bit different, then I'm going to consider this a win. By no means am I trying to say that I run into mostly bad Guardians. Not the case, but you can definitely tell when somebody is new to the role or when somebody doesn't understand exactly what they're trying to do. So let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to define the Guardian's function. What you should be trying to do as a Guardian is not attack everything you see. It's not defend everything you see. The purpose of the support role, of the Guardian role in Smite, is to control engagements, okay? An engagement in Smite is defined by any time you and another player are engaging either one player. It can be a 1v2, 2v2, 5v5, any situation where there is a true battle happening. The Guardian's role is to control the pace, control the tempo, to ensure that your team comes out on top. How do you do that as a Guardian? You have to A, protect your team, and you have to B, focus the damage, focus the attack. We're going to get into exactly how you do that. Okay, first thing, check up. 4-0 is Khepri, right? Wrong. Get that out of your mind. I did not go 4-0 as Khepri. KD is not important for a Guardian. Sure, you don't want to feed, you don't want to be 0-8, you don't want to do anything like that, but KD is not as important for the Guardian role. Other roles, sure, you want to worry about that. But the fact of the matter is, if as a Guardian, you're getting the most kills and the fewest deaths, something is wrong. You should never be in the situation where you as a Guardian are doing the most damage, getting the most kills, all that good stuff. You're here to support. Instead, I want you to look at it like this. 4 kills, 14 assists. Put that together, that's 18. The team had 19 kills. I was part of 18 of the 19 kills, okay? Sure, look at your deaths, make sure that you haven't died a whole bunch of times, but instead, as a Guardian, you need to be part of as many of the team kills as possible, especially once your team fight starts. Secondly, understanding your abilities and their functions are a massive part of being a Guardian. Crowd control abilities are a big factor in what makes such a successful Guardian. That's why you don't have to actually use the Guardian role that is defined by Smite in order to be a successful Guardian. Hercules, for example, makes a wonderful Guardian. He's got crowd control, he's got sustainability, and he has a little bit of damage on the side. Understand that the abilities of a Guardian are their bread and butter. You have 2 reasons for these abilities. 1, winning engagements. Use your abilities to help with that extra push that you need on a team. Whether it's a stun, whether it's a silence, whether it's taking an enemy team member and peeling them off from the battle so that 2 of your guys can jump them. There are a bunch of different ways you can do this, but half of your goal with your abilities is to help your team win the fights. Not necessarily for you to kill them, but for your team to be able to kill them. Secondly, disengagements. If you have a friendly teammate that's trying to get away with that last bit of health, if you have a friendly teammate that's getting jumped by 2 of the enemy teams, what are you going to do about it? You can't just run up to them and start swinging as a Guardian and hoping to God you'll kill them before the 2 wipe out your team. It's not going to work that way. You're not going to do that much damage. They'll probably kill the team member if they focus him and then turn and kill you, or at least get you down enough that you have to retreat. You can't help the rest of the team. Your abilities are what allows you to help that team member escape. Whether it's something like Khepri's grab to peel that extra damage off of your team, or Cthulhu's drop where it slows and then hits that root so that your team member can get away. A Guardian should be able to be successful with their abilities alone. They should be able to be an effective player without ever building an attack item. I'm not saying don't build an attack item, because you definitely want to be able to do some damage and hurt people, but your crowd control abilities are the difference maker in so many fights, and if you do not know how to use them, you're doing yourself and you're doing your team a disservice. Okay, let's talk a little bit of tactics. There's 2 main strategies that I like to play depending on the Guardian I'm playing as and how my team's responding. There's your frontline Guardians, okay? If you're a frontline Guardian, you're going to begin engagements, you're going to be charging to the front of the team, you pull hate from enemy players. What does that mean? That means that the enemy's going to attack you first. You're taking the damage for the team. You're also setting up the battles. If you're somebody like Sobek, if you're somebody like Kabrakan, you're going to charge to the front, and ideally, your team is going to focus the targets you focus and take less damage because you're taking the hits. Two negatives about going this strategy. One, you can't do this until you're built or you're able to escape. You have to be real careful. You don't want to be charging up the front and just get focused by 5 people and just murdered. Two, your team has to back you up on this. If your team is not focusing what you're focusing, all you're doing is running up ahead, the enemy is going behind you and murdering your team. You're not helping anybody. Second strategy. This is more of a center field approach. In other words, what you're going to do is operate out of the middle of the team fights. You want to be able to see the board. You want to be able to see the engagement unfold. And this works really well once the team fight starts because you can see where you're needed the most. When you're running this strategy, what you're really doing is finding out who's the easiest targets or who needs the most help. You're going to assist that teammate. You're going to allow them to get the kill. You're going to get the kill, and y'all are going to move on to the next one. This is a great defensive strategy. It works really well when you're playing with, say, a team that's not all on comms and you don't have a lot of communication going on. Also works really well if you're not fully built and you just want to be that second point of attack. This really allows you to get the most out of your CC abilities, and it is a perfect defensive strategy. If you're not able to put out enough damage or draw enough hate from the enemy team, then it's going to be really hard to play a frontline strategy. Also, if the enemy team is just ignoring you, running behind and killing your people, it's going to be really hard to play that strat. If you're trying to play defensively, trying to play out of the center of your team, and your whole team is extremely passive and no one is attacking, that's going to make it very difficult to run that strategy as well. You have to figure out how your team is playing and what works best for you. Okay, my last bit of advice, I don't even have footage for it, but this is one of the biggest things I can tell anybody as a Guardian. Map awareness. How many times have you tried to play Guardian, you've been murdered, and you scream out, or your Guardian screams out, "Where is my team? Where is my team? Blah, blah, blah." That is completely map awareness. Do not charge into a fight if your team is not with you. Conversely, if your team is being attacked in the back line, you're not there to help them, that is also your fault. You as a Guardian have to be the most map aware person. You cannot go single target focus and just try to kill something. You have to be aware of what is going on around you. That's not something just for Guardians. Honestly, that's the biggest advice I can tell anyone in this game. It is a team game and you have to know where your team is. Smite, like any MOBA, is not 5 one-on-ones happening. It is 5-on-5, it is 3-on-3, it is 2-on-2. It is maybe a 1-on-1 every once in a while, depending on the lane, depending on what is happening, but it is a team game. As a Guardian, you are the glue that holds those fights together. You have to realize that. You're not trying to one-on-one each individual enemy player. You're trying to allow your team to thrive around you. And the sooner you realize in order to win these team games, you have to cooperate, the easier your life is going to get. Let's do a little recap. Remember, your function as a Guardian is to control engagements. It is not to individually win each fight. It is to control how the fights happen and who comes out on top. How do we do that? First, quit looking at your KD. Look at your assists and your kills and see how many fights you were a part of. Second, understand your abilities. Understand as a Guardian, your abilities are everything. Your CC is how you control the fight, how you control enemy teams. Remember, there's 2 main strategies to playing Guardian. You can be the upfront, aggressive, attacking style Guardian, or you can be center field. You can help win individual engagements. You can help control fights. You can use your abilities to help your team. And also, do not be afraid to jump between these two as the game goes on. You're never going to run the exact strategy. This is an evolving game. Map awareness. You have to see everything unfold around you. If you are not aware of where each member of the team that you're responsible for is, then you're failing them. Know who's engaging. Know if they have a chance of winning. Try to be aware of where your team is. One last bonus piece of advice that I can give anyone that plays this game, it is not a series of one-on-one fights. If it's 5 individual one-on-one fights going on, you're doing yourself a disservice. The game, the abilities, they are meant to mold around each other. Use that. Okay, that'll do it for this video of the Guardian mentality. I really hope that this gave anyone any type of insight. If this helped a single person, I'm going to count this as a win. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Get in the comments. Tell me how you felt about it. How do you play Guardian? Did this help you? Did this not help you? Do you have any other tips for other players that maybe you play it different? I'm just telling you what works for me, and I'm hoping it works for you too. Remember, follow the streams. We stream daily. Facebook.gg/PhillChills, Twitch.tv/PhillChills. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube so I can keep making videos. Honestly, I just hope these help. All right, y'all. See you next time. Stay chill.